Hey guys, here we go into round 6 of Golovkin versus Canelo. Fascinating round. There's a lot of interesting stuff in here. Excuse me. First, I'd like to say if you enjoy my content, um, hit me up on that Patreon. Shoot me $1 or two. Um, don't forget to support responsibly. You know, make sure you have the money before you shoot me any. Um, Follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and if you like my videos and you can't afford to support me on Patreon, just share them with your friends, share them with you know, anybody. Tweet them to boxing trainers or boxing coaches or fighters, or shoot the video to Golovkin or Canelo or whoever. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into round 6, and now I've done rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, and also 5. So if you haven't caught those rounds, it's really important to kind of figure out kind of the flow of the fight and why the fight is the way that it is at the moment. So go ahead and catch those rounds. Go ahead and check them out. And I'm actually going to be adding this to the playlist. So if you happen to see this one first, just check the playlist out on my channel and it'll have all the videos. But we're going to go ahead and get into round 6. And yeah, well, let's just go ahead and get into it. We'll talk about the stuff then. So comes with Golovkin coming forward, right? And immediately Canelo shoots that jab, right? And Golovkin starts countering him. And interestingly enough, so he shoots the jab. Golovkin counters, and he comes in with an uppercut, right uppercut, and then a left hook. Instead of going with the right hand over the top, which is fascinating. But again, timing Canelo beautifully to get away from that shot. And start landing counters and start trying to, continue to take Canelo's jab away and not allow him to throw it. And now this is a really beautiful exchange. What I want to focus on here is Canelo. He shoots that jab. Golovkin looks like he catches it. I'm not sure, but he shoots his own jab. But watch Canelo step with his punch. And he steps with it, and Golovkin walks him kind of into a right hand there. But before, every time Canelo would step with his jab, Golovkin would just take a step back, and he would move away to get away from Canelo's offense. But this time, he sees the jab, he sees that Canelo steps forward, and he slips off the line away from Canelo's right hand. I'm not sure if that's super clear. Away from Canelo's right hand, and kind of walks him into his own right hand here. Not a hard shot. It looks actually like it gets blocked, but he's starting to show Canelo that Canelo can't feel comfortable throwing those combinations either, because Golovkin is looking to start countering them, which is really fascinating stuff. Then the next scene, right? We have Golovkin stalking him, and Canelo not feeling comfortable shooting the right hand or the jab to control Golovkin, to keep Golovkin off him and keep Golovkin honest, But also we don't see him doing that lean forward, parry the shot, and then throw the left hook that he was doing last round, because Golovkin was picking up on it so well. And then we have the residual effects of this is just that Golovkin has the easy opportunities to feint Golovkin, or to feint Canelo, and see how he feints him with that low left hook, right? Look at how his weight is still, his hips are still turned this way, and basically facing his opponent, and then he's able to really whack him with that right hand, because he's able to get him out of position so well with the feint. Because of the fact that Canelo has no control over Golovkin, Golovkin's able to use the feints to get Canelo out of position and set him up for some great shots. Then right after that, right, boom, right? He shoots the jab, and then he waits for Canelo to throw his own jab, as you see here, feints him, shoots the jab, shoots the double jab, and as soon as Canelo lets go with his own jab, he goes to counter him with the right hand over the top. Now this is really important, as we see here again, shooting the right hand. Oops. Shooting the right hand, and he's baiting Canelo now, right? And now Canelo shoots that jab, and Golovkin immediately shoots that right hand to counter. But Canelo makes an adjustment, understanding that Golovkin is looking to use the right hand every time he throws that jab. As we've seen so far in this clip, I think it's 3 times in a row now. Canelo baiting that right hand now and then moving off the line to land his own counters. But as you see, he shoots the jab, and then slips off the line, lands a right hand to the body, and then I think he misses the left hook. But it shows a great adjustment from him and understanding that Golovkin is looking to set that right hand up off of the jab or off of Canelo's jab. Then Canelo looking to start making some offense, and they come up and they kind of shell up, and a lot of times Canelo is kind of waiting for Golovkin to kind of shell up so he can let his offense go. But that's going to change in this round. It's going to be some really interesting stuff that we're going to see, and it makes me have to commit to doing rounds 7 and 8, which I'll probably do tomorrow, and I'm going to try and do them in one video. But as we've seen before, Golovkin trying to figure out if it's going to be a jab, and sometimes it's a jab, sometimes it's a hook. Canelo goes with a hook this time and then throws the 2 right after it, kind of throwing Golovkin off and landing that hook. Because Golovkin doesn't always know which one it's going to be, and then this is really fascinating. So in the previous round, Canelo would kind of come forward and he would parry with the right hand, right? But look at how he squares his shoulders up, and he would do that so he could come in with the left hook. Here he does basically the same thing, right? If you watch it again, he starts moving in, gets his shoulder square, and then as he's coming in, as Golovkin is throwing his left hook to counter that, because that's what he was doing last round, Golovkin does land his left hook, but Golovkin lands a great counter of his own, and then goes to the body with the left hook, which gets blocked. But Canelo making a great adjustment as well, picking up on the pattern that Golovkin was making of catching him with that left hook when he would do that, and kind of switching it up and coming in with the uppercut instead. So some good boxing from Canelo. Canelo finally showing some adjustments. And again, Canelo shooting the jab, right, and then expecting the right hand off of it, and he takes a step and boom, leans to the inside of Golovkin, showing that he's looking to make adjustments. Shooting the jab again, and now this is also a really great adjustment from Golovkin. So Canelo shoots the jab, Golovkin slips it. Well, let's make sure he slips it before I say he slips it. Kind of looks like it maybe bounces off of his head, but he goes to pull that right hand, and Canelo knows the right hand is coming, right? So he moves off the line, but look at how Golovkin shoots that right hand and then moves off the line as well. He follows his hips. Beautiful from him. As you watch, boom, his weight transfers, and then instead of staying on the line with Canelo, which is where he's in danger for counter punches, he moves off the line and shuffles off. So showing an adjustment to the last time that Canelo looked to counter the right hand as well, with the left hook to the body, or with the right hand to the body and then the left hook. So some good adjustments so far from both fighters. And then we've got Golovkin moving forward, and we have Canelo setting another trap, right? So Golovkin shooting that jab and then slipping, wondering if the Canelo counter jab is going to come, and then Canelo shoots the jab right there. And as you notice, he doesn't commit to it, right? As you see, Golovkin does that slip after his jab, and then Canelo shoots his own jab, pauses, and then hoping that Golovkin is going to shoot his own counter, right? And shoot his own right hand over the top of over Canelo's jab. As you can see, Canelo moves his head completely off the line after that jab, boom, and he ducks all the way down to try and walk Golovkin into this right hand. So Canelo finally showing that he's making some adjustments as well. And then Canelo finally making some adjustments. And then you have Canelo shooting this jab and then taking a step back, not walking into the Golovkin right hand counter that he did before, but looking to test Golovkin and see when he's ready to counter and when he's not. Boom. And now this is really interesting. So we have Golovkin shooting after the jab, expecting the right hand to come, right? So he throws the left hook kind of preemptively in case the right hand comes. But if we look at this timing right here, Golovkin moves forward, and then he starts moving forward here, boom. And Canelo's able to time Golovkin. And I tried to go back and look at some of the other rounds to see if there's a lot of this kind of timing as well. But Golovkin, for the most part, keeps his shoulders really straight and he comes forward really slowly and a lot of probing. And for some reason, Golovkin's not doing that right now. He's kind of waiting in, boom. And Canelo is able to time him right there. And if you notice, Golovkin's going to be doing a lot of that right now as he moves forward. Boom. He moves forward on the same timing. He does get that jab through, even though Canelo tries to parry it. But, so as you see, walks forward. Boom. Now, he walks forward. Boom. And Canelo times him again on the jab. Now, I know that there are probably a lot of instances that have taken place for Canelo's offense previously off of this timing as well. But it was very difficult to tell because Golovkin was spending so much time timing Canelo. I'm not going to go back and redo any of the film study, but it is something that's very relevant for this round. And as we watch Canelo or Golovkin, now that Canelo is not looking to lean in and set his punches up, he's doing more waiting, right? Because he doesn't want to move on to that. I think that's the reason why Canelo is looking to start timing Golovkin. He still has like a little bit of his active guard, but it's not near what it was before. But as we see here, Golovkin steps forward, and then as he starts stepping forward, Canelo is able to time him when he's stepping with his jab and catching him with this left hook. You know, not a lot of power on it because he doesn't land with the knuckle part of the glove. He's landing with the inside, right? So there's no power here, right? There's no force, right? Where all the force is right here. But he's starting to take Golovkin's timing away, or start taking Golovkin's jab away, and that might be very important for him in the fight. Now again, Golovkin on that same timing, right? Now that we have Canelo waiting, right? Golovkin starts stepping forward, and then he starts stepping forward, and Canelo counters him on that timing again, and kind of starting to make Golovkin a little hesitant. Again, Golovkin shoots the jab, rocks back, and then as he's rocking forward, Canelo kind of tries to time him with this uppercut right here. Really starting to pay attention to Golovkin and not just fight his own fight, but fight a fight based on what Golovkin is giving him. You know, really interesting round. And then again, Golovkin starts walking forward again. Whoops. Off that timing, shoots the jab. Walking forward, and Canelo gets his gloves up, and Canelo shoots that jab off of that same timing. It's really hard to see because the frames kind of break right there. But as you can see, he's going to move forward. And as he's stepping forward, boom, Canelo starts timing him on that jab to keep him off rhythm. And then what does Golovkin do immediately? He breaks his own rhythm. Boom. Now, he would be jabbing on this timing, right? But now he shoots the right hand as well. And even though Canelo is able to catch this jab, right? Boom, the right hand comes right after it, and Canelo's not ready for it. And he kind of lands it. Not a hard shot, right? But just enough to show him that he's not fighting off of only that timing. Now, again, shooting that 1-2, boom, off the same timing, right? Walking forward. But look at how much different Golovkin is coming forward. When he comes forward with this shot, he's not rocking in either, right? And he lands that 1-2. Now he's not rocking in again. He's got that very careful, slow plodding, not slow plodding, but that very careful, like unrhythmed approach where he's taking small steps forward, feinting Canelo, feint, right? And he's not coming forward. And then all of a sudden he does, and he does the weight transfer. As you can see, when he goes forward, right there, he's here, boom, and then he allows that step to carry his weight through with the right hand, boom. And Canelo's like, oh, I see it coming this time, and he's able to not get hit by it. And then Canelo, again, timing him, right? He steps forward, and then he shoots the jab, and Canelo's timing him. Even though he's almost getting hit with the shot himself, he's timing Golovkin and catching him with it. Again, same timing, boom, catching it, moving out of the way of the next shot off the same timing, boom, understanding the next timing. Ooh, dangerous right there. And then Golovkin coming forward on the same timing. This framing is a little off, but Golovkin steps forward, and as he's stepping forward, Canelo starts countering him, boom. and boom, trying to piece him up off of that timing, trying to keep him off balance. And this is so fascinating because I wonder if it's I wonder how much it's going to affect the second fight. You know, having an ability to fight off of his own rhythm, not on his own rhythm, to set traps for Golovkin. And then you have again, um, whoops, stepping forward. So he's going to step forward, steps forward, right? And he would be shooting here, but he kind of catches Canelo off timing right there by stepping forward and then doing a quick step with his jab, to really make him feel strange about it, you know, and able to, able to close the distance much easier after that. But this scene right here is really interesting. You see Golovkin shoot the jab, and look at how he kind of has this like double probe here, right? So he steps forward, feints him, right, and then he starts. It's so hard to see if I miss the frame. So he steps forward, feints him, and then Canelo starts moving back, kind of gives him another feint right there, and then is able to catch him with the 1-2 right here. And the 2 doesn't look like it lands super well. But again, Golovkin breaking his rhythm on that timing. Oh my goodness, my VLC is really acting up right now. But not wading in, right? Notice how his shoulders stay level, and even though he's stepping, right, it's not like this, right? Boom, like he was kind of starting to do, and he's able to kind of catch Canelo off timing. Even though the next scene right here, Golovkin kind of gets back to it as he starts wading forward, shoots the jab perfectly on that timing. Canelo's able to parry it-ish, you know, move back, and then come with his counter jab, which Golovkin is able to pick up on. Oh my goodness. My video is just so fried right now. I don't know what's going on. But on that same timing, and Canelo thinks he's going to be able to catch him, right? Boom, boom, because he's been throwing 1-2s, but somehow Golovkin knows to step off the line this time, right? So 1-2's coming, and Canelo looks to counter, but he steps off the line and catches him with the right hand. Really interesting. And then Golovkin, I think, gets caught with a counter uppercut, but I'm not super sure. But then on that same timing, Canelo's like, okay, so now he's throwing 1-2s, so let's figure out what he's doing. So Golovkin starts leaning forward, and man, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why my video is so fried right now. But he starts leaning forward, and then off the same timing, he starts to lean forward, and Canelo feints him, and Golovkin's ready for it, right? And then Canelo's able to take a step back and kind of pick up on the fact that Golovkin has also picked up on the fact that Canelo is timing on that timing as well, and really spoils that timing for him. And then in the last scene, I don't know why I didn't get picked up in my editor, but the last scene here, Golovkin coming forward on that same timing. Watch. So he steps forward, he steps, and as soon as he steps, boom, Canelo catches him with the jab. Then he steps forward, starts stepping forward, and then he takes another step, right? And then shoots a jab, and Canelo's able to get away from it, and then duck the right hand. Whoop. It's not letting me pause it at all. Oh, that part's really important. Let's see what's going on. Well, let's go back. So step, step, and Canelo's able to get away from this shot, anticipate this shot, get away from that one, the same timing, and then Golovkin starts stepping, takes that first feinting step, and then starts taking his second feinting step, and Canelo's able to catch him with that jab, and then kind of move off the line. I'm just going to play it straight through because it's not letting me pause it. The clip isn't long enough, but just watch it and pay attention to Golovkin's feet, and then watch Canelo's hand in the peripheral. Step, step, and then boom, and he's able to move off the line and get away from the counter. And it's really interesting because Canelo's starting to time it as well. Look at how he stays leaned on that front foot, waiting for Golovkin to start stepping on his front foot. Right? It's kind of on that same timing, except that it used to be every time Canelo would lean here, boom, jab, boom, jab, boom, and then he was able to get the weight off of his back leg so he could do it. But now he's like, and he waits there and times Golovkin and moves off, boom, right, boom, and then waits for Golovkin, times him, bam, and pulls off the line. Not setting traps yet, but figuring out the first layer of him controlling the space between him and Golovkin. And like I said, sometimes it's easy for Golovkin or for Canelo to time him, right? But also sometimes it's easy for Golovkin to mix that rhythm up and catch him with the 1-2. And as we saw right here, Golovkin looked to do the same thing that he had been doing before, right? And throw that 1-2 off that same timing. But Canelo was able to get off the line and away from it. So really interesting development. And like I said, I've never done film study on these rounds before, so I'm really curious to see what round 7 and what round 8 have in store. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And yeah, thanks.